Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Looking at the NBA here on Tuesday. Got 4 games on the slate and a lot of weirdness. 5 of the 8 teams playing tonight are on the second night of a back-to-back. So we got to wait for the injury reports, the starting lineups and rotations. That's all going to come out throughout the day here. But I've got a few bets already down on the card with using the information that we have that I can bank on and what we know already. I also have a few looks and leans that I want to get into as well and show you how we did yesterday in the NBA. So if that all sounds good, give this video a like. Let's get right into it. 6 and 7 on the night, minus 0.4 units. So we mitigated the damage. We came on strong late with a lot of bets that hit. In fact, all of the bets that hit were made after 6 p.m. Eastern on Monday. So that's a little bit of a sort of a cautionary tale there, where if you're betting a little bit too early in the NBA, yes, you can get closing line value. You can also get screwed by random late additions or subtractions from the lineup. When we see guys like Dyson Daniels all of a sudden ruled out yesterday, we see the Celtics give us a lineup that has Al Horford and Porzingis starting. An hour later, Al Horford's not playing, and they're starting Luke Kornet. And that changes everything. So sometimes you just get screwed like we did on our bet with Jaylen Brown rebounds, because that was predicated on him being on the floor with Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis, not Luke Kornet. So we got screwed there. The other unders are the losses that we took there. DeAndre Hunter, under 19.5 points. Really thought that the Timberwolves would D him up better. He ended up going off for like 35 in that one. Ja Morant did not bring it, nor did any of the Memphis Grizzlies. They got waxed by the New York Knicks in the Garden. Really thought he was going to bring it there. Okongwu is interesting because I'm pretty sure Okongwu is going to have a good game tonight, and I'm going to be visiting him on the live show at 5:30 p.m. Eastern to see if we can find an Okongwu bet tonight, to be honest. But just an awful game from him yesterday. He just got taken out of it. Early fouls, early technical, and didn't really get the minutes. Still got 7 boards, got 1 assist that we could have gotten to 2. I'm not mad at the look, is my main point for Okongwu, but we are going to have to see what he does tonight as well. I think he's going to be in a good position to have get some stats here on the second night of a back-to-back. Zion just didn't. We got to add the points. Just next time anybody sees me just going for anything but including the points with Zion bets, go ahead and smack me. Just tell me I'm an idiot, because when there's no paint presence on defense to stop him, he's just a walking bucket. So we'll have to get back into that with him. Still up 51.9, 52 units on the season. Looking to stay above that 50 unit mark and get closer to 60 here. We are on the road to 100 units on the regular season. So still feeling good about the trajectory that we're on. And if you do want to get in on the VIP, you can do that by going ahead and signing up for any of the sports books that I am partnered with. You'll see them scrolling underneath me here. You can also find them in the description of the video. You'll see all the sports books that I'm partnered with. Sign up for any of those using code LYB, and then send me a screenshot on Twitter or Discord showing me that you did sign up using that code. Get all your free money and the bonus bets, and then send me that proof that you did. At JL Boogie on Twitter and Discord, I'll get you a free month in the VIP. And one more reminder, we are going to have the live show once again, as we do every day, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys jump in there, bring your bets, and we'll go over all the value that we can find, because we're going to finally get the news that we need. Injury reports are going to be starting to get finalized while we're on the show. So we take all that info and make those bets together. Hope to see you guys there. But for now, let's jump into what I've already got on the card here for Tuesday. As we dive into my card here for Tuesday, going to be using propsmadness.com, the absolute best tool for sports betting research around. Definitely recommend at least getting in on a free trial for a week that you can use, or go ahead and use code LYB and get 25% off when you do sign up for this product. I'll be going through it here on the episodes I put out before the games, and I'll also be doing that on the live show as well. If you do want to jump in on this prop platform, ask me any questions about it. I'm very happy to walk you guys through it. But first bet on my card is going to be Kelly Oubre. We took him over 7.5 rebounds, plus 115 on Bet365 if you do have access to that book. I don't know if this is going to move too much or not, but for that amount of plus money for 8 rebounds for Oubre, he's coming off of 2 games with basically both of them without Paul George, or at least the Bulls game was without Paul George, who's going to be missing in this one. Both without Drummond and Embiid, also missing in this one, and Caleb Martin and KJ Martin. So just continuing to just have a depleted lineup for Philly. But if you look at these last two games, I mean, 17 rebound chances, 18 rebound chances. He's looking at about 13 rebound chances per game when he plays without Drummond and when he plays without Joel Embiid. So as the second best player on the floor, the second best rebounder on the floor after Gershon Yabusele, who is going to have a terrible matchup if he's going up against AD, awful matchup. Kelly Oubre is the one that's going to have a much better matchup in this game for rebounding, and the one who's going to be pushing the pace and trying to get to the rim. So he'll be able to get some offensive boards off of the fast break if there's any misses. He's definitely going to be guarding guys who are going to be going towards the rim. So I expect him to be in position near the baseline to get these rebounds in this game. So really like him to get 8 for plus money. I should also make clear, I do think the rebounds and assists are a good play for Oubre as well. If you want to add the dimes, they're very low. It's just 1.5, but obviously you have to drink the juice here. Minus 170 is like the best number that you're going to get for him to get 2 dimes. I could see 3 if you want to do a little ladder play as well. The thing that I'm looking at here is the way that the Lakers play defense, and I believe they're going to be forcing the ball out of Tyrese Maxey's hand a ton, which means, and early, by the way, in the shot clock, like not waiting for him to get going towards the basket. I mean, far from the basket. They're going to be keeping him sort of doubled up and make sure that he has to get rid of the ball to a pass that's not even necessarily going to end in an assist. I think Tyrese Maxey is going to have a ton of secondary assists where he's passing to the guy who passes to the guy for the bucket, because he's going to create an imbalanced defense where everybody sucks up to him. He takes the ball, passes it to one guy. That guy's now got an imbalanced defense. It's now 4-on-3 because 2 guys just went to double team Maxey. And now that guy, who I believe is either going to be Kelly Oubre, or we're probably going to get some Kyle Lowry minutes since he's available in this game, where he's the secondary, the outlet guy, right? He's the relief for Tyrese Maxey, who's getting the ball and then passing it quickly, and then that person's going to the bucket to either get a dime or to finish the play, right? So I don't like anything for Maxey. I think they're just going to face guard him and make sure that he's not doing anything in this game, and then you're going to see other guys have to make plays, and that's where Kelly Oubre is likely to have the opportunity to get a bunch of assists as well. So I think adding the dimes for Oubre is a good look, but I couldn't get away from the plus money for the over 7.5 rebounds. Other look on my card here is going to be Max Christie. We have to be able to bank on like 32 to 35 minutes for Max Christie. He's been in the starting lineup now for like 10, 15 games in that range. And I'm going to take his minutes filter and just put it to at least 30 minutes, right? If we have this at 8.5 points, and I took this over 8.5, minus 125, and I'd still take it up to 9.5, about minus 110. That's where I put my limit on for the Max Christie bet. If you want it, 9.5, you can still take it minus 110. I mean, look at these numbers when he plays at least 30 minutes, and you can see most of these games have come since the end of December when he started he got into the starting lineup and started to play at least 30 minutes. The only 2 games he failed to do that were in weird ones versus the Nets, where they only won by 1. And then against the Wizards, where they won by 23, and it was kind of like, who really cares about this one, right? That was more of like a Dalton Connect game than anything else. So I do think, and also AD just dominated the Wizards in that one as well. This is going to be a little bit different. Second night of a back-to-back for LA after a tough one against Charlotte. They're going to be relying on Max Christie for minutes, the young guy who's really the reason that they started to be good defending point guards, by the way. And that's why I do believe they're going to focus so much on Max Christie. If you look at the Lakers, and this is totally related and correlated to Max Christie. If we go to look at team defense versus position, you can see on the season for point guards, the Lakers are, where are they at limiting point guards? They're now in the top 10 limiting points for point guards, right? If you just take the last 7 games where it's been all Max Christie, this is the number 1 defense limiting points to the point guard position, which is not something you thought you would ever say about the LA Lakers. They've been so bad limiting point guards for the past like 2 to 3 seasons, because they've had D'Angelo Russell as the top of their defense. Now they have a legit, long, rangy, very good defender in Max Christie. So he's going to be out there for the minutes. And that's why I like the points more than anything. Because if you give him 35 minutes, he's good for about 10 to 12 points per game. And 8.5 is a very fair number for us to beat. Even at minus 130, I would drink that juice and take over 8.5 points. But if you'd prefer to go 9.5 for anything better than minus 110, also really love that number. As we move on to Jazz Dubs, go ahead and give that video a like if you have not yet done so. Definitely recommend subscribing to the page. Throw those notifications on as well so you don't miss any of the live shows that we're doing here. 5:30 p.m. Eastern today, so hope to see you guys there. But looking at Dubs and Yaz in Golden State, Jazz on the second leg of a back-to-back, so we're still waiting on information that we can get about them. Kessler and Collins sat last night. Not sure if they're going to play tonight or not. I don't know what to do with Utah until we get those the lineup news, and we got to wait basically till like 30 minutes before tip for the Jazz before we can really put a bet on them. That said, whenever Isaiah Collier comes out, we're betting on him again. We bet on him last night. We're going to bet on him tonight. Probably rebounds and assists against the Dubs instead of just the assists. But you see, we don't even have a bet up for him yet. And last night, we didn't get a bet up for him until maybe 45 minutes before tip. I expect that to be the case tonight. I don't give a shit. I'm going to be betting on Isaiah Collier rebounds and assists versus the Dubs. For this game, though, already got a bet down on Brandon Pajemski, and I think that's going to continue to be a ton of value. So the points are way too low at 7.5. But if you add the points and assists together, I do think that's really good. I got that for even money here on BetMGM. PA for Pajemski at 11.5, taking the over on that against the Jazz. So a couple things. The Dubs have a brutal schedule coming up. Here I've got #basketball, a site that I've showed you guys before. All these tools are listed in the description of the video, so you can find the links to all of them in there. But if you're looking at the Dubs here, they play Utah, then tomorrow they got OKC, 2 days down the road, Phoenix, 2 days down the road, 3 days down the road from that, Orlando. So there's no reason to play Stephen Curry 36 minutes against the Utah Jazz. Granted, you need to win, and this is probably going to be closer than the 12-point spread that we currently see listed for this game. I think that's way too high. Even for Utah on the second night of the back-to-back, they're two of their most important guys didn't even play in Collins and who's the other guy I'm thinking of? John Collins and Walker Kessler. Jesus. Walker and John Collins didn't play last night. So I think they're still going to be good to go. That said, like Brandon Pajemski should be good for at least 25 minutes tonight. And I think he could be in line for more because of the fact that he's playing that backup role. And we've seen either he or Gary Payton Jr. starting. We'll probably still see Gary Payton Jr., but this is going to be a game that you want to have a good offensive guard in there. If you look at how bad Utah is at defending guards, let's just start with points for the point guard position, right? Utah is 5th worst, limiting points to the PG. They are, in terms of assists, they are 2nd worst, limiting assists to the point guard. We know that Brandon Pajemski is playing a lot of point guard. Even when he's on floor with Steph, he's got a lot of touches because they want him facilitating a bit more. Even if you consider him a shooting guard and you consider Steph the point guard, if you look at the dimes for shooting guards, bottom 10 for Utah. If you look at the points against shooting guards, they are giving up the 3rd most, even more than point guards. So this is just an awful defense against guards. It's just that simple. And anybody who's going to be out there with the ball in their hands and the ability to either facilitate or take the shot for B-pods, going to love that look for him, right? You look at where this Utah team is terrible, behind the 3-point line. He's taking about 45% of his shots from 3, right? No, that's going to be available. And then the floater game right here, 23% of his shots in the extended paint, and they are 28th, limiting stuff there because Walker Kessler, when he is out there, is playing that drop D and defending the rim, not necessarily the extended paint. So this is going to be a great game for a guy like B-Pods. If he's good for at least 25 minutes, like I think he should be, if you look at his minutes here, let's say we project him for 25 to 30 tonight at the most. I mean, pretty great numbers there. 14 points and assists per game, over in 6 of 10. And I do think that this is going to be a pretty big night for B-Pod. So we'll take him to get the 11.5 points and assists, and that's going to do it. So go ahead and make sure you are subscribed to that page. Check in 5:30 p.m. Eastern, Twitter and YouTube. We're going to have the live show. You guys bring your bets, jump in the comments, and we'll go over all that stuff together to try to find the best value we can. So until I see you then, happy betting.